righty. Thank you all for coming tonight. The time is 7:04. Everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you all for coming. So we'll just introduce everybody up here. Bev to my left, which would be your right. Betty Ann, Kristen, Mary, and then we have Tracy and Robin over at the alternates table tonight. Alice is not going to be with us tonight. Quinn will not be with us tonight. And Andy is on the phone listening in. And I'm Richard Demko. Okay, tonight we're going to hear from Building Compliance, Culture and Arts, and the Finance Department. So with that, we will open up our first public comment. First public comment going once. First public comment going twice. First public comment going 3 times. Hearing no public comment, our first public comment is closed. Moving on to item number 4, we will hear from Building Compliance first. Mr. Baldwin, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening. Mr. Baldwin, Director of Land Use and Code Compliance. I believe Jason had given you the revised budget. I believe the only difference, and that was reflected, was one light item that was going to be, that we added. The state of Connecticut will be adopting the 2026 version of the Connecticut State Building Code in July, so we have to anticipate the purchase of all the new code books, regulations, and so on that we'll need to have in the office, and that was the reason for that little bit of a change. You can see the first set of line items there are salaries. All the salaries. The department is fully staffed with 4 full-time employees. All the salaries are based on the union contracts. We've been using over the last year or so, we have an additional inspector that helps us out, and we're anticipating using that position more this year due to the volume and the nature of some of the projects that are going on in Seymour and the anticipated projects that are going to start. And that is not a that is budgeted at $20,000, and that is a 1099 position. That is not an employed position, so that's going to vary depending on how much we end up using that extra inspector. We have our education, our seminars, and our meetings, and our Connecticut training at $2,500. That covers all the mandated training and CEU hours that we have to keep up with for our certifications. Also our professional association dues that we belong to. We have 1 cell phone that's being paid for. The other 2 employees have town phones. We have our printing and binding. We produce a lot of the documents ourselves in-house. So that's funded at $4,000. The travel expense of $500 is to cover the mileage for the per diem inspector. General supplies. The general supplies are used through the building office, the land use office, and also the fire marshal's print as well out of that one printer that we have. Another line item that was added this year is that our department has its own individual town council, and that is budgeted in at $15,000. Our land use council works basically on blight enforcement and actions and as well as most of the land use boards need counsel for their decisions. Like I said, the code cycle change, we've added $3,000 to, and the entire budget comes out to $336 and $336,623. Our revenue in a 12-month period, again, we're all fully online now. We're running OpenGov. OpenGov, the permitting and the licensing payments for that software is in the IT budget. That's approximately $50,000. In a 12-month reporting period that we were able to this is not a projection, this was an actual, was $495,000. So we're still doing pretty well. Again, this is a culmination over 3 years of changing the department. We're fully staffed. We all have, there's 3 town vehicles that we use, which are in place. All our software is up and running and paid for, and we're actually not looking to spend any money, just continue to make some money. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, we'll go down the line. And Bev, any
Yes, one question
It's under, I believe it's under communications. Where was it? Wait a minute. Wasn't that $800? Oh, it's not. No. No, it's not. I don't know, Jay. I think that's just been admitted. $70 a month. $850. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He became a full-time employee. Yes.
if I could through the chair.
go ahead.
Yes. So originally, a lot of things, the way they used to work was there was one employee that was doing several jobs. We do not use a town planner anymore, okay, which saves the town roughly about 65. Actually, it was more. It was through the COG. It was a contract service, and I believe it was. I'd say it was probably closer to. I don't remember, Anne Marie. I think it was closer to $100,000. So we don't do that anymore. We contract. So we moved our zoning enforcement officer, who's also our inland wetlands officer. He does a lot of the setup for applications and things like that, and then we also use our town engineer as well for our technical assistance. So that left the blight enforcement that was being done by another part-time individual. We actually brought that individual into not only blight enforcement, but all of code administration, code enforcement officer. He actually does housing complaints from residents, mostly tenants of, apartment complexes, 2-family, 3-family, and 4-family. And as well as we have a full enforcement of the blight ordinance. Last year, I don't have the exact figure, but I think last year alone, blight brought in probably over $100,000. And we have right now on the books of blight infraction, which is owed of almost $300,000. So we pay someone about $61,000, and they can generate through the process, again, Those all don't get collected right away because they have to be processed through the court, but it's producing a very, very large sum of money for that position. And that's why, through the Board of Selectmen, it was determined that he be brought on. And he also does, so we've assigned a lot of other things that he does. He does, helps out with the ordinances, for example, with all the snow, make sure that the ordinances are being followed for snow clearing as well as grass cutting. He is in charge of the adopt-a spots now, so he runs a lot of other programs as well.
Betty Ann?
That answered my same question, so thank you.
Excellent. Kristen?
That answered my question as well.
Mary?
Curious about the mechanical inspector. Shows a 20,000, but no percentage increase. Yeah.
There was no, we didn't actually have that, I think we had that funded, Jay.
That was mechanical inspector?
That
Yeah.
went from, last year's budget, that was only funded at $2,000. Yeah, so that should be an increase there, Jan, not the zero that it goes through. I don't know. The 20,000 went from 2 to 20.
Right.
Yeah, so, in the change, the percentage change is not showing up there.
So the percentage change is off last year's budgeted. So last year budgeted, we had 0. Should that be adjusted? Did we have this line item last year?
We did have it in, and I believe I thought it was 5,000. I have a copy of the original numbers, Jay. Yeah, it's always been sitting in there as I look back at our other budgets in the past. It's been sitting in there, was sitting in as 5,000. The 2022, 23, we went to $19,000. And then, yeah, so.
I'll go back to those prior years, Jim. Maybe that was lumped in with a different line item.
Yeah, it's always been sitting in there. It has been sitting in there for a long time, Jeff. I don't know why it's not showing up in the percentage change.
The percentage change is 0 because it's going off the budget column. So if you go from 0 to 20. But I'll go back and take a look and see where the mechanical inspector was paid last year.
Okay.
That was the -1.
Okay. Robin?
Just one quick question. The salary for the planning and zoning enforcement officer, last year, or for this, whatever, 59,710, and you're requesting 61,673 for a 3.29% change. Is that contractual?
Yeah, I actually asked that question to Kurt today, and it's contractual, and it's also a step in the union contract.
Okay. Tracy?
You said that you are generating 495,000 of revenue.
Mhm.
That's what's currently in.
Yeah, so we were able to run out of our software. We ran a 12-month report, and that takes into account all the planning and zoning, the entire department's revenue, planning and zoning, what Blight brought in, and the building.
Yeah, so that includes the 300,000 and that's nothing for.
That does not include that. We don't include projected revenue, but those are in the forms of violations and/or liens. And again, until some of them are in foreclosure, and they just take a while. But we've been seeing a very
Bring in more than you spend.
we make money.
Okay.
Did the chair have one question?
Yeah, hang on. So my question here is, the salary for the development code enforcement, that's not in here anymore. Is that something that zoning enforcement is taking over, or?
I'm sorry,
So,
we never had, the planner, the old planner?
development code enforcement.
Development code enforcement.
Okay, so for 25, 26, it was budgeted for 20,888, and there's nothing in here for this year.
No, we have the director, myself, we have the zoning enforcement officer, who's also the wetlands officer. We have the blight enforcement, and we have then we have our administrator.
Yeah, so it's line 565, 120.
Sarah, land use. Yes, yes, we do not, we're not staffing that position.
Okay.
That was staffed, last year.
Mhm.
And, that person left us, and we did not refill that, position. And, those tasks have been assigned to the zoning enforcement officer.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's just wanted to
Yep.
clarify that. Betty Ann, you had another question?
Yeah, just real quick, with the income coming in,
Yeah, so the,
question again is beyond the revenue coming in, which is fabulous, does that include the legal fees associated with all of the foreclosures, liens, and so forth?
no, so the revenue out of that 12-month reporting is exactly that, it's the revenue. In the past, we have never funded, legal fees. That was always, placed in another category, and that we would use the same council, the same town council. Over the last, year, I believe it was through the Board of Selectmen, we've been assigned a different, law office, and we use that law office specifically. And what that covers is that 15,000 that's projected, in this budget would cover their attendance to, mostly land use meetings. And to answer your question, yes, that would be, the legal fee, also include legal fees for, any of the, actions of liens or anything like that have to be filed on land records, or, actions that are filed with the court.
Thank you.
Jason, you have something to add?
Yes, through the chair. Previously, the compliance department was using general town council. And obviously, the town has a tremendous amount of activity that goes through the law firm. Now, we specifically assigned Jim his own line item, and he has his own counsel. So this is not an additional cost to the town's budget overall. We're just shifting it from general town council to this specific line item in this budget, and we just happen to be using a different law firm for that task.
Okay, thank you. Okay, does anybody else have any further questions for Jim before we move on? Everybody's good? Okay, thank you, Jim.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so up next, culture and arts. You want to do that one next? Okay, so Jason will be presenting on behalf of culture and arts today. Jason, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Culture and Arts Department, they're responsible for community performances and events. They also do the local art showcases around town, and they do seasonal and family programs that are scheduled. You'll see them on the weekends. They have bands. They have a bunch of stuff for the family. From one year to the next, they are not requesting an increase at all. So you'll see that their total budget is $25,600, made up of two line items. One is purchase services, and those are bands, performances, etc. And then we have supplies, which is just general office supplies. So this budget is a 0 increase.
Okay, excellent. Follow suit and go down the line. Bev, any questions?
No questions. Pretty
Betty Ann?
straightforward.
No questions.
Kristen?
No
Mary?
questions.
Tracy? No? Robin?
Good job.
All right,
I killed it.
very good.
That's why he wanted to present it.
It's always,
That was it.
always nice when we have a
He wanted-
0%
He wanted to
increase.
present that, selfish you.
Okay, so then we're gonna move on then to the finance department, which Jay will also be presenting, so
Perfect.
continue, and then for us up here, that's on tab 7.
So the finance department, we are fully staffed now. We have a finance director. We have an accounting manager. We have a payroll and human resource coordinator. She does both tasks. The beginning of the week, it's mainly split over a 40-hour work week. So the first half of the week is processing payroll, and the second half is assisting the human resource director in any of those functions and tasks that he may have. And we also have the previous role was accounts payable clerk, but it's now, we've hired an accountant, a junior accountant. She's fantastic, really picked up the job. She does, in addition to accounts payable tasks, she's also cross-trained in payroll function. So if our payroll clerk is out, she's able to just step in and process payroll, and we don't have to scramble. So having said that, actually, but also, so out of the finance department, we have a town floater that falls under my budget here. The town floater, we are now open. Town hall is from 8 to 4:30. We don't close. We previously used to close for lunch. The town floater is able to jump into either the town clerk's office, the assessor's office, or the tax collector's office. You can imagine he spends a lot of time in the collector's office in January and July. But if we're down a person, if somebody's sick or ill or on vacation, and we have only one staff member in a department, the floater is able to step in and at least we can keep the department open, or at least the office open for the entire duration of the day. Having said that, the first line item here is the director's salary. That's based off of a contract, a 2.5% increase. The accounting manager position is a 2.75% increase year over year. The accounts payable accountant position, so that previously was just an accounts payable clerk. It was and we've now increased it, and we've gotten somebody with a different type of a skill set who's able to assist in other tasks. And she was also assisted during the audit process as well. So not just opening up an email or an envelope, getting an invoice, and then paying the invoice. She has other skill sets. Floater position, that is also contractual in nature, a little bit of an increase. You would expect to see 2.5 or 2.75, but there was a step in there as well. We have a payroll coordinator that we brought on, so this is her first full year. So again, you have a step and a union increase in there as well, which is the 5%. ADP, I'm happy to present on this line item. So we went through the payroll coordinator and myself, we went through and we had a bunch of I guess employees around town who were receiving actually paper checks, pay stubs, when all of this stuff is available online. So we reached out to people and let them know that the availability is that you can get your weekly stub online. So we're no longer getting these huge FedEx packages. Now they're half the size. So obviously ADP charges for every single check stub they run, every W-2 that they run. So now we have a bunch that you could just access it online. So we reduced our payroll cost there. You can see ADP is our payroll provider. They're one of the main providers out there. You can see we do have a decrease of about $7,000. Any questions on that before I move on? The rest of the budget, so we have the purchase services, we have the GASB 75. So after we complete the audit, we take, I don't know if anybody's been online and seen the audit report. John was here yesterday, he described it. It's 120, 130 pages or so. We take that audit and we submit it, and we do receive, we're in the process of submitting now, we do receive an award. That process, it's an Excellence in Financial Reporting Award. That process has a $900 or so fee associated with it. We have education meetings and seminars. Those are to keep my CPA designation. I'm required to take 40 hours of continuing education every year. Professional association dues, those are also for my CPA designation dues for Connecticut Society of CPAs and a couple of others. Repairs and maintenance, it remains unchanged, $200. I can't remember what broke for $185, but we did repair something. General supplies, there's no change year over year, $2,000. That's all the paper, toner, basically. Yes, you are correct. And books and periodicals, we do subscribe to a couple of, a couple periodicals that Tony uses, Mr. Caserta uses for keep track of Bloomberg and a couple of others, and that's a nominal fee, $250 for the year. Overall, 4.93% increase year over year. Any questions?
Bev?
It's weekly. It is. We have thought about it. We've considered it. We need all the unions to agree on that.
Okay, because that would save us a lot of money on ADP.
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Betty Ann? Kristen? Mary?
You're welcome.
Robin? Tracy?
I just have a question. How do the steps work? Like, how often in the union do they
They're-
increase steps?
Right, so I believe they're annual step increases.
So the steps, no, are not annual. The steps are when they reach a certain level. So it could be a year, it could be 6 months, it could be a year and a half, it could be 2 years. It all depends on where they land when they're hired in that step level. Someone can come in at a step 2, and it may be 6 months before they get to a step 3, or it may be a year before they get step 3. It all depends on when they were hired during that contract.
It's like based on a salary band?
Yeah.
That's it, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
All
All right, thank you. Yeah, go ahead. Emery?
Through the chair, if I could. So when we're speaking about the positions in the finance department, those aren't new positions. People are already in those positions. One took a leave of absence, and then they left, and the other person went from the part-time payroll clerk into that accounting position, and then they left. So these positions were already in the budget. So we just expanded more responsibilities on through them, through the union.
Thank you for that explanation. Anybody have any other further questions in regards to this before we move on? Okay. Is So that brings us to item number 5, our second public comment. Second public comment going once, going twice, going 3 times. There is nobody here, so second public comment is closed. Item number 6, correspondence. I have not received anything. Jason, have we received anything? No. Okay. Item number 7, new business. Now, unfortunately, I do not have my schedule in front of me. Okay, so Bev will let me borrow hers. So we're on Monday, March 2nd. We are scheduled to hear from Revenues, Town Utilities, Employee Benefits, Debt Services, Capital, and Contingency at 7 p.m. March 2nd. That is our next budget workshop. So with that, I will see everybody here next Monday. Right, providing it does not snow.
Through the chair,
Oh, yes.
I may be able to get another presenter from the snow cancellation that we had on Monday.
Okay.
So I am trying to line that up for March 2nd.
That would be excellent. Yes, I mean, even if there's any others that need to reschedule as well to that Monday, that should be fine. It's better to bang as many out as possible.
Yep.
Excellent. March 2nd. It's on your schedule. So with that, we are adjourned, 7:35. Thank you.